Another month is in the books, but was it an April Fool's or did we just keep on keeping on? Well, let's talk about it. Hey, what's up, bookworms? Mike back with another monthly wrap-up, this time for April of 2021. Another odd month, I think I say, when you kind of dig into the numbers and see what is going on. But lots of things to talk about, so we're going to kind of do those like we always do by talking about what I read, the channel growth, the top content, and channel goals. All of those things. Now, I will be putting timestamps in the description, so if there's a section of that you don't want to listen to, hey, you can always skip ahead and get to what you love. Let's begin like we always do, guys, with what I read in the month of April. I read kind of 5-ish books, 6-ish books, because there's a couple that were kind of stragglers and one that I'm not done yet with yet. Let's start with what I finished. I finished The Great Train Robbery by Michael Crichton. That was part of the channel reread. Hyperion by Dan Simmons, which was a big old bucket list item for me, and Dark Matter by Blake Crouch. Now, that was the first Blake Crouch book that I've actually read, and I liked it quite a bit. Did a really lengthy review for it, just kind of over the moon about it, because I didn't expect to like it as much as I did. Then we got Shadow of the Gods. That is the new John Gwynne book. The review for that is coming out very soon, because the book is coming out very soon, so I think you'll be seeing that rather soon here on the channel. And the ish is, I finished Goblet of Fire with my kid, but that took like a year, so I'm really going to count that. Memories of Ice, Malazan, the third book in the Book of the Fallen. I'm on the last chapter, but something I'm noticing about Mr. Erickson is he likes to make those last chapters memorable, because it's like 140 pages, and 140 pages in a Malazan book is like, well, about 10 chapters in a regular book, but I hope to finish it up here today or tomorrow. And that kind of leads me, guys, into my book of the month. Now, this was a very tough pick for me, but I had to end up going with what I thought is going to have the bigger legacy in my memory, and that, of course, is going to be Hyperion by Dan Simmons. Yes, it was pushed very hard by Dark Matter, because I was just completely floored by how much I like Dark Matter, but Hyperion was decades of build-up for me to get to this point, and getting here, and not only did it meet those expectations, but it exceeded them. I thought it was such an amazing take on like the sci-fi Canterbury Tales, the way that the structure is set up. And I feel like it's a people pleaser because it has a little bit of everything, so many different kind of subgenres within the science fiction genre. And I love the way that you have these independent stories, but they all tie together. It doesn't feel like just, 6 short stories just kind of crammed together because the author couldn't get published or something. No, never feels like that. But yeah, a book I think is every bit worth its legacy that it has received. And I would say it's like a 1A, 1B with Dark Matter this month. But yeah, Hyperion is one that I'm already calling it a top 3 sci-fi book for me all time, and I couldn't disregard that how much of an impact it had on me to not give it book of the month for the month of April here. So first sci-fi offering to be book of the month this year, and it was one that I think is you've heard of it, I'm sure, and I hope that most of you have read it by now. And if you haven't, I hope you'll check that review out and give it a shot, because I think you'll find plenty that you like there, and I look very much forward to doing Fall of Hyperion here in the month of May. Let's go ahead and talk about some channel growth here in April. We added 1,883 new subscribers. That is down 257 from March. 275,000 views. That's down 10,000 from March. And 41,000 hours of watch time. That is also down 2,000 from March. Now, March was kind of a bigger month. I think it kind of, looking at these numbers, I can say, oh, well, everything's kind of trending downward. But March, when I have a big hit of a video, obviously those numbers are always going to be inflated. In March, I did the best fantasy series for beginners, and that one, is upward of 25,000 views now. So whenever I have a video that hits over like 10,000, usually I'll get a little bump in my numbers. Obviously, that will kind of help to inflate the numbers a little bit. So it's always going to look like the next month is a letdown. This is kind of par for where I've been in 2021 so far, and that's fine. Like I said, I think that the growth on the channel is doing just fine. I like the kind of large, but a kind of a community that I can handle the size of. I'm able to interact with most people. I'm able to get back to them. I'm able to comment on videos. I'm able to chat with them on Discord. So again, I've never expected this to be a six-figure subscribers kind of channel. I never expected it to be this much, honestly. So I'm never going to be disappointed with those numbers. But yeah, I'm happy with where we're at. And I really don't have much more to add than that. So let's go ahead and move into the top content for April. Now, these are the 5 most viewed videos for that month, not counting weekly updates, because believe it or not, guys, those weekly updates draw a lot of numbers, and I had no idea that people would be so interested in like a reading vlog each week when I first started doing weekly updates. It's fun for me to kind of, just kind of talk about where I'm at in everything that I'm reading right now. Those are always a lot of fun, but I don't count those in these. I like to keep these kind of somewhat of original stuff. And I say that, but then the top video for the month was a book haul. The March 2021 book haul got 10,000 views. Those always go over well because, like I said, people just want to see new books. They are very interested in seeing the new books, seeing the sizes, seeing the cover art, seeing the spines line up, things like that. And I like to do them, obviously, to give a thanks to people who are sending me things, because that is always something that is very much appreciated but is never expected. I have a P.O. box now, so if you guys want to send me stuff, it's in the description below. You can. But as always, like I said, I never expect anything, but the option is there if you would like to do that. Like I had a viewer recently send me some coffee, and that is very much appreciated. I'm having some right now. It's fantastic. Thank you, Kimberly. Okay, how about for another 10,000 views? That was the top, or not the top, the series I want to begin in 2022 and beyond. These are series that I was kind of looking forward to. Now, this was before my schedule changed with Malazan, so some of these might be a little different than I kind of set up in that video. Like, I still plan to do Memory, Sorrow, and Thorn on the same time span, but it really, again, it's going to kind of be a play it by ear, because those are big old books, and I'll be coming up on the end of Malazan at that point now. So there are some things that kind of might have changed a little bit. All the series that I cover in that video, I still would like to do in 2022, because I was still doing all these Malazan books. They're just going to be in a different kind of order than I thought. Just like I said, I had to let go of some of those sci-fi September and spooky season plans I had this year, but they aren't going away. They're just getting delayed, So we moved some Malazan books a few months up, and we just kind of flip-flopped them with those other books. But a lot of those books in 2022 are still series I plan to get to in 2022. Just the time frame may have changed, so don't be discouraged and think, well, you mentioned all those series and now you aren't going to read any of them. I am. It's just things are just getting flip-flopped around. So we'll play it by ear and see how Memory, Sorrow, and Thorn is going. I know 1 month, just kind of looking ahead at projections, 1 month I have planned to read to Green Angel Tower, which is the biggest fantasy book I think I've ever seen in my life by Tad Williams. That's Memory, Sorrow, and Thorn Part 3. Technically Part 3 and 4 if you want to count it as 2 like it was when it was originally released. But I have that. I have, I think, Dust of Dreams, which is a huge Malazan book, and Wizard and Glass by Stephen King, which is the biggest Dark Tower book. So something's going to have to give there. These Malazan books seem to be taking me about a good 3 weeks to read. So sometimes these numbers just aren't going to work out. But, again, this is that's the priority. Everything else is just kind of fun. But we'll make it work. We will see what happens. 7,000 views, why I decided to read Hyperion Cantos by Dan Simmons. This is just where I tell the story I've probably told a few hundred times to people who have been watching the channel from the beginning about how I first discovered Hyperion. I had a brother that was 6 years older than me, and basically we didn't have like a local library because we lived out in the country. There wasn't one that was close by that our parents would drive us to, and we grew up, let's just say, below the poverty line, so we weren't really getting a lot of new books. So basically anything my brother had in his bedroom, that was my personal library. That's how I found Tolkien, that's how I found Shannara, things like that. And he always had this book of Hyperion by Dan Simmons in there, and I was just completely just grabbed and just mesmerized by the cover art to that. So I tell that whole story in there, and really just kind of my expectations for Hyperion, which led me to also having 7,000 views, is the review for Hyperion by Dan Simmons. I already kind of talked about it for my book of the month there. I just kind of elaborate on those ideas in that video. So it's one that, yeah, if you haven't read it, I really think that you should. And then with 6,000 views, I have my 2 years on BookTube and kind of my advice. Now, the whole reason behind that was like, I kind of wanted to reflect, but also kind of questions I get all the time. I get messages, I get emails, all this stuff about people being like, your channel growth is kind of amazing. Would you mind, as a marketing and as a business major, would you mind telling me, some advice, some things that work for you. And it's just the 3 B's, man. Be yourself, be consistent, and be honest. That's all I can tell people enough, Be yourself. Don't come in here trying to act like something that you're not. I've never tried to be someone that I'm not. Be consistent. Don't expect success overnight, but keep pushing out your content. And when it's good, people are going to find it. Just make it consistently. Don't make a video and then wait 3 weeks, make another video, wait 2 weeks, and then make 3 in 1 week and then 1 the next. Be consistent with whatever your output is. And then, of course, be honest. Don't come in here and lie. If you didn't like the book, man, be honest about it. Look, I was kind of nervous when I uploaded that unpopular opinion about Name of the Wind, and it's one of the most popular, videos on the channel, especially from those early days. So again, people will appreciate your honesty, even if they disagree. If you present it in ways that it's critical and not just ranting, because I know ranting videos are very, very popular. I'm not going to do that usually. I'm just going to tell you why it didn't work for me. There was some frustration in that Name of the Wind video just because I didn't understand why everybody and their mother loves that freaking book and it never clicked for me. But again, these are the things that work for me, and I'm never going to say they're going to work for everybody. And again, guys, what am I, like almost at 45,000 subs? It's not like I've solved this problem, this whole mystery of how to make it big on YouTube. I'm still small peanuts to a lot of booktubers out there. But again, people ask for my advice. That's what has worked for me to get to this point. And just never forget to engage with your audience. Always make them feel like they are a part of the channel. That's really, really worked well for me. There are a couple of personal favorites here for the month that didn't get as many views for the top 5 here, but I kind of want to talk about it. And mainly it's just one. It was Stephen King's Tommyknockers. This is a video that I've wanted to make since I first started this channel because that book is just absolutely insane. And I kind of wanted to talk about it, bust loose, and just kind of, I hate to say make fun of it, but it's just, it's hard to find another phrase for that book because it's just so freaking zany and out there. And look, 5,000 views for a Stephen King video on the channel is actually quite good. Outside of The Stand and my Dark Tower stuff, his videos don't get a ton of views on my channel, especially not compared to fantasy stuff. But, technically The Stand and Dark Tower are both fantasy, so you can see why. You can see that trend there. But, 5,000 views for a Stephen King video. That's about as good as it gets. I also did one for Assassin's Quest, and it's probably, I wouldn't say it's one that I highly recommend. It's the most thumbs down review I've had in a while. I don't know if it was because it was negative or because I made one line in there where I said that I couldn't get behind Fitz being like super chivalrous and not bending to any of these women's advances because he had a baby and a lost love somewhere. And people kind of jumped all over me for that. One person actually told me he felt sorry for my wife. Well, the thing is like in that book, that significant other basically told him over a year ago, I never want to see you again. So what I meant was, you're a single man. Yeah, sure, you have a baby, but with a woman who never wanted to see you again. I would not have been offended if he had just given in. That's all I was trying to say. But, that's always going to be a sensitive topic. But I think that might be why I got so thumbs down on that video. Or it just might just be, the hobnobbers were really mad that I didn't really care for that book. But that one I think is more fun to just kind of go read the comments. So check that out if you are interested. Let's get through a few of channel goals here for May. Now we're going to cross 45,000 subs this month. That's like about 600 away as of recording this. If we don't get 600 this month, the channel's really going to hit a wall. So I'm hoping we can get there because then I can have my 45K live stream. I want to kind of make those live streams, just for kind of like milestones, maybe like every 5,000. So I was thinking 45,000, 50,000 would be like the next live streams. I don't want to just do one every month. I know a lot of channels out there do one every month. I'd like to kind of keep them almost like an event because I like people to be able to have conversations with me and answer questions. Because, the thing about those live chats is I get a lot of the same questions I always get. But some people don't always see all those questions being answered. So I like to put myself out there. I like to answer you guys' questions. I like to be on a more personal level with you guys. So that's always something fun. And see how I can work around that. I'm looking forward to wrapping up Hyperion. Actually, I know that what I mean by that is not the Hyperion Canto. It's just the Hyperion side of it. That's Hyperion and Fall of Hyperion. And then we're talking about Endymion and Rise of Endymion. I'm just talking about the Hyperion side. I'll be finishing up the Hyperion side in May, and I'll also be finishing off Michael J. Sullivan's Rhaenyra Revelations, and my last ride with Royce and Hadrian before I go back in time into all those standalone prequel novels in the Rhaenyra Chronicles. But this is one that I'm really sad to see come to an end. You know, it's always been something that you would think, okay, you look, guys, you can blow through the Rhaenyra Revelations in like a week. They're really fun, easy reads, and they're really almost like that classic fantasy feel, almost like a Shannara or something, but a little more adult than that. But I can't say enough about this series, except that what it was for me, it was kind of like a comfort read. You know, every time I thought, okay, there's some fantasy that might be getting a little too muddy for me, and you know, as I'm kind of making it through the thickness of Malazan right now, I can't think of a better way to kind of detox in the fantasy genre than to hook up with Royce and Hadrian again for this final ride. So I'm excited to wrap it up, but I'm also kind of sad because, yes, I know there are more stories out there with Revelations, with Chronicles, but this is still the end of their journey in this timeline. You know, this is going to be the furthest forward that we've got with Royce and Hadrian, and I have no idea what to expect. And then I just kind of hope to continue to engage and keep folks interested in the Malazan channel read-along. I think changing the schedule like we did recently and making a kind of a rookies or a noobs channel on the Discord for just new readers was a really, really good idea. Those were both, from feedback that I got from people that they wanted, and we added in. It seems like ever since that change on the Discord, the conversation for Malazan has been through the roof. It's really, really, a lot more people decided to get back on board with just doing the every other month format instead of 2 months, 3 months, 2 months, 3 months. So it looks like it's working out, and I really hope that we can continue to keep bumping that up, because it's a fun time discussing something this dense with others. At least in my opinion, it has been a lot of fun. Just kind of talking about our favorite characters, what characters aren't working for us, what storylines aren't working for us, and asking for help. And finally, since we have that noobs channel, we can just really just get deep into some of our theories and expectations and stuff, and then laugh at how wrong they are. But guys, that was the month of April. Another fun month, and May looks like it will be just the same. Did you read anything great in April? What would you say is the best book that you read in April? Drop in the comments and let me know, and I will talk to you guys there.